Now we want to make sure to save our file, and we want to I'll do a save as, because then it'll give me options. And I want to make sure that I put it in the same folder as the rest of my book project files. That will help decrease the problems that can arise with links being lost. So I'm going to go ahead and put it in there. Call it book 1. Okay. Now let's talk for a second about some of the advantages of links. So as you can see over here next to my Pages palette, which I pulled out of the Windows Pages, I also opened up my Links palette. And here I have my 4 Photoshop files. So let's say I wanted to make a change to one of these files. In this case, I'm going to choose this image. So if I click on it, it'll highlight over here on the Links palette. And then I'm going to go to the drop down and say Edit with Photoshop. And it's going to open it up in Photoshop. So if I add or subtract something from this file, like a color, okay. Now if I go back into InDesign, well, nothing has happened because it only knows what happens with a file when the file is saved. So I have to go back to Photoshop again and make sure that I have saved the file. Now if I save it directly as opposed to a save as, then when I come back to InDesign, InDesign will have noticed the change. And sometimes initially it will automatically update the file. Let me go back to Photoshop again and make another change. And I'm also going to do a direct save for that and then go back to InDesign and notice it hasn't updated. If it hasn't updated, you'll usually see a caution sign on the page, and you'll also see one over here on your Links palette. All you need to do is double click on the caution sign and it will update it. Now let's talk about what happens if what are the things I can do to lose my links. Well, sometimes organization is a good thing and sometimes it's not such a good thing. Let's say I decide to put all of my links into a folder because things are starting to get a little bit too chaotic. So I take them and I put them into a link folder. Now you can still do this. You know, organization is good. You just have to follow up on that afterwards. So this is usually how I like to organize an InDesign document, is all my InDesign documents will be outside and all my links will be inside. Now when I come back to InDesign, it's confused. Look at the links palette here. So it's got a bunch of question marks. It's saying, wait, you know, you told me the file was in DI book project and now it's not there. It doesn't know where I've moved it, unfortunately. So I have to tell it. So I'm going to double click on the question mark and it's going to say, where is it? And then I'm like, wait, where is what? Oh, page 3. Okay, I'm going to find page 3 and I'm going to go ahead and click on open. And it's going to relink it. I can also just select, if these are all, if I know what happened, what made them go missing, and I know they're all in the same folder, I can also select them. I shift selected them or click and drag over them. No, actually shift select. And then I go to relink to folder. And then in this case, all I have to do is tell it what folder it's in. If I have subfolders, then I would also have to go back and individually tell it what subfolders they're in. Let's see, other ways that I might need to relink. Let's say I like this file as is, I've saved it, and now I want to make another version. So I'm going to make a change, but I want to keep it the way it was. And I want to keep it with this new color here. So in this case, normally if I'm working in Photoshop, I would do a save as, and I would give it a new version number letter, so it'll be page 2C. Great. All right, it's all set. It's over here in my links folder. There it is, 2C, great. All right, I'm going to go back to InDesign. And nothing has changed. It's still pointed to 2B. So if I wanted to change it to 2C, I would click on it, go to the links palette, then I can go to the drop-down and say relink. And this time I'm not relinking to the same file, I'm relinking to the new file. Great, all set. So the other thing you want to be careful of is before you print your file, because everything, as I've said in class, everything might look fine on screen, but if any of your files have question marks or caution signs next to them, they will print out pixelated. So to prevent this, the last thing you always do is look at your links palette. Now let's say I'm done with my design and I'm happy with all my links and I want to be just super, super cautious and careful that I don't misorganize my links and have some problem when I'm printing. Well, you can shift select all of your links and then go to the drop down and do embed link. And now the links will be carried with the InDesign file as opposed to with the whole folder. So you ask, why wouldn't we do this from the beginning? Well, once they're embedded, we can't edit the original Photoshop file because we put it into some computer space in Photoshop. So we only do that at the end. Then I'm going to go ahead and do a save as here, version 2. Okay, great. Now let's pretend that I took this file from my computer at home to a computer at school and I want to do some test prints. And then I decide from the test prints that I want to change the color of one of these circles. Well, I can't select that and use it right away, so I'm going to unembed the link. Actually, wait, let me see if I can. Nope, I can't. So I need to unembed the link first. Maybe I'll just do that one. And unembed link. Now it's going to ask me, see, in my case, I didn't move from one computer to another, so it's saying, do I want to use the original files? Let me cancel out of that, and I'm actually going to go and delete my links so it can't find them. Okay, now it's as though I'm going from one computer to the next. So I'm going to unembed the links. So it's saying if I had my original files, which I don't, I could relink to those, or it can create a folder. I'm going to say no because I want it to create a folder. And it's going to say where, and I'm going to put it into my project file. So now I've got my Photoshop files. But be careful now, I only have the files that I put into InDesign. I don't have my other versions. But this is a safe way to transport InDesign from one computer to another without having to worry about whether you have been perfect in your organization, although I hope you will try. All right.